Rumors have been circulating since the URL DragonBall2018.com was purchased. We talked about it here on the channel about a new Dragon Ball movie coming out very soon. Now, I want to say, just to start this off, that we don't have confirmation of a new movie coming out. Some people think it's going to come in the next 3 years, and maybe it will. Most likely, I think we probably will get something, but there's no confirmation, and until we get confirmation, we shouldn't assume. But I thought it would be a good idea to talk to the fandom, talk to the community, all of you here on YouTube, as well as those over on Facebook, which is where this video is coming from, the facebook.com/geekdom101 page. And I wanted to ask some of the ideas from the fandom. What kind of movie would you want the 2018 or 2019 or whatever Dragon Ball Super movie to be? Do you want it to be like an Elseworlds side story like the old DBZ movies? Do you want it to fit into the continuity of the series? Do you want it to be a backstory? So I asked the people, so what I'm going to do here on this video is we're going to take the top comment, and we're talking about first come first serve, not the ones that I find the best ones, and I'm going to give you guys some basic plot ideas for that the fandom wants for an upcoming Dragon Ball Super movie. And of course, feel free to leave your ideas down below in the comments as well, because I'm curious to see what you guys want from a Dragon Ball Super movie. What would you like to see on the big screen? That's what I'm trying to tell you. And of course, we're talking about animated movie, not live action. Let's get that out of the way. First person here, Nick Schwartz, says Zamasu returns and kills Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta has to team up with Frieza to save the world. I like it. It's got a very Marvel Comics-esque thing to it. I don't know how I would feel about it, but I think it would be pretty cool. I'm not even going to lie. I kind of like that idea of having a movie with Goku sitting out for most of it. That could work. I do wonder, though, if Fox, and by the way, for those who don't know, Fox distributes the Dragon Ball movies. Like, not just live action, animated, which is why if you went to go see Battle of the Gods or Resurrection F, you saw the Fox logo at the beginning of it. They had distribution rights, but I wonder if that means that they would be willing to have a movie without Goku. Because you got to remember, guys, there's a bunch of studio executives and, guys, corporate America, and they probably want Goku in the movie because Goku is the main character. Would they be willing to take a risk and not have Goku on the poster? Justice League just came out, and they don't have Superman in the poster. So maybe it would work. I don't know. We'll find out if they do it. Tyler Mise says Jiren's backstory. I think that will work better as a TV special than a movie, but I certainly would like to see it. Jeffley Namikaze with an actual good plot and non-convoluted formula. Come on, bro. I want an actual idea here. I agree with that, though. Ronald Boer says, I would strongly prefer for a movie to be a DBZ movie and continue where Return of F, he writes, left off. We have Trunks and Black in a version of that movie. We didn't finish the story there. No, okay, I'll stop you right there. They're not going to be adapting an arc into a movie. I can tell you that right now. They're not doing that. At all. Don't expect a Universe 6 movie or a Trunks movie arc. And to be honest with you, like he's saying in the comment that he wants to be better animated, and I agree, that would be cool. Like seeing Goku Black on the big screen would be cool, but I just don't see that being a possibility. Brandon Colon says, as unoriginal as they'll sound, I would love to see a DBS manga adapted to animation. That's never happening. That's never happening, dude. There's an anime, there's a manga. The two different continuity. That's not happening. Rico Beerus, hi Geekdom. I saw I was mentioned in your past video, and no, it's not my real last name. Of course not, but that'd be a cool last name. He writes, I would like to see the return of Rose and Zamasu. It shows he might be the future Zeno. Yeah, that's been a theory that's been tossed around. I think MJ started it, where people believe that future Zeno is actually Zamasu who possessed him. There's literally no evidence to this at all. It's just some random idea someone came up with that people like, but I doubt it. I really do, but I want to keep reading what he says here. Correct me on this, but even though Zamasu was immortal, but Zeno's the most powerful being, that he really destroyed Zamasu? Well, he destroyed the multiverse with Zamasu inside of it, so presumably he did destroy Zamasu, but they could always write a loophole out of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's possible. He says maybe there was something Zamasu has hidden, powerful, none of us have known, or maybe a movie about, forgive me if I can't spell it, the Makaio Shin. I heard Toriyama made them, but we never know their backstory, what they look like. Actually, I have a video I am working on about the Makaio Shin. Expect a lot of lore videos in the next month on my channel. I'm going to be discussing the Demon Realm, the Makaio Shin, and tons of little, cool little stories within Dragon Ball that I don't think any other YouTubers have talked about, which will be fun, hopefully. I mean, hopefully you guys will be interested in that. Because it's just stuff that I find interesting about Dragon Ball that I think is fun to talk about. Different topics. I like to do stuff that other people don't do. And Makaio Shin will be one of the topics covered. Michael Olzowski, if I mess up your name, I'm sorry. He writes, give me a separate movie about Vegeta. Well, I don't know if he'll get his own movie, but I could see him being more of a focal point like he was in Resurrection F. Flavio Carvalho writes, I would like to see how Trunks and Mai are going with a new enemy there. I agree. That could work as an arc or as a movie. We talked about that last week on the video I did with Real to Real about upcoming arcs in Super. Either one could work. I mean, it depends on what story they want to tell. Shravan Raj, I'd like Placidala to be the movie. Okay, so he doesn't want it to be the arc. He wants it to be the movie. He says it'll cover things we want to see from that arc. A little Vegeta Kaba training and Vegeta's interaction with his own people. After how much he's changed since the start of Dragon Ball Z. We'd love to see something with the Kale Khalifa, how they're progressing, what could train them. Could be like the Bardock movie. Well, I don't think it would be exactly like that, but maybe it would look like that, with the technology and whatnot. So, yeah, that could work. Bobby Woods writes, I want it to be Goku and Vegeta to explore the other universes, like maybe more of Universe 6 and do the same movie, or with Universe 11 would be cool too. Yeah, again, these ideas could be arcs or movies, just depending on how far they want to go with it. With a movie, they're going to be about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Probably just an hour and a half, to be honest with you. They usually don't go longer than that. Usually shorter, actually, but hour and a half could work. Do they want to tell a short story or a long story? If it's going to be a long story, make it an arc. If it's going to be a short story, make it a movie. Rafael Rodriguez, that's a very close name to me. Time Breakers, Fusion War, or just go crazy with Z versus GT movie where GT is from a different timeline. He's talking about that idea. I tweeted about this, actually. There's an idea that I had about them. Again, I'm just being wacky here. Them doing a Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline where we find out that the Dragon Ball Z movies, the video games, and GT and all that are actually alternate dimensions, and somebody cracks the fabric and we have this big like battle royal with all these different universes coming together, and then at the end sort of everything becomes quote canon. It's going to take a hard time to actually write this, but it could be cool if they did something like that. And if you're a DC fan, you know what I'm talking about. Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's a very famous storyline in DC, and if you're not a DC fan, check out Comics Explains channel. He has a whole video explaining the entire thing, and I think it could work. I think it could work if they do something like that, to actually bring everything into one big movie. That's like a 3-hour movie though, bro. That I feel like that story's too big for a shorter movie. Andriha Misa, again, if I mess up your names, I really apologize. I have a lot of international subscribers, and I appreciate and love all of you. I love the fact that we're so multicultural here on this channel. He writes, I would love it if they would make a movie about Pride Troopers, their origin, what they do, etc. I think we should get their own. I think I will take a step further. They should get their own TV show. They should get their own separate show just about them. Damon Philbrick, or Damon, it would be cool for us to see Placidala and more Universe 6 fans if we end up not seeing them in the series after Tournament of Power. Mohammed Farhan says, I want the backstory on Beerus and Whis. I mean, stories on gods explained in a movie. I agree. That would be cool. That would be cool to know how Beerus became so strong and mighty. I think these are all great ideas. Like, I actually agree with every idea I've seen so far, but it depends on how they want to do it, because I also feel like a story of the gods could be a spin-off show as well. Now, right now, the way Toei is structured in Japan, they're way too stretched thin. They're stretched thin as it is when it comes to production. They can't make like 4 or 5 different Dragon Ball TV shows at once. I wish they could, but they can't. But I would love it if they did sort of like what Marvel was doing with, like, the Defenders and Daredevil, where you have like little short shows, right? Maybe 12, 15 episode shows, and they all tie in together. And I would love if they did like a gods show, maybe like a 12 episode mini show about just the gods, right? Or, just the Pride Troopers. And then if they are successful, they come back and do more episodes. I would love that. There's so much stuff to talk about. I cannot pronounce that last name. Kenzie, maybe a Fusion Reborn type of thing with Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. I don't care about non-canon canon. I just want a fun movie. Well, I respect you for not caring about it, because I think that canon arguments. I mean, I talked about it before. They're pointless, really, because Japan doesn't care. So why should you? I might actually do that video that I've been talking. I've been talking about this video for 2 years about canon. Maybe I'll put that out. But he just wants to see Gogeta. A lot of people do. You ain't the only one. Patrick Thayer says, I think the movie we plan to doll feature versus the entire arc would be a fitting send-off. Yeah, I mean, that, again, if you want to tell a short story, it could work as a movie. Michael Mott says, the first time travelers wreaking havoc across the universe and changing history like Toa and Mira. Great way to get Trunks in and for Toei to push Trunks again. Very, very good idea. It's probably my favorite idea so far because, you know, we talked about the first time traveler in the manga. It's only been talked about in the manga. He's from Universe 12. That's only in the manga. Nothing in the anime. So it would be cool if you had this guy going around screwing up the timeline, and you got to do sort of like a Xenoverse type storyline. Not exactly where they have to stop him. That's a good idea. Planet Dala from Sammy. Adrian Middleton says Vegeta is intrigued by Kale's transformation, travels to find out the true history of the Saiyan. So again, that's Planet Dala pretty much, but that's more focused on just the history versus just a new story. Nabil Kazama, right? A movie that focuses solely on Universe 6, their history, characters, and expands on them, mainly Hit. Hit is the most popular Universe 6 fighter. Absolutely, without question, you are correct on that. And I would love to see a Hit story, but that goes back to my point earlier is, would Toei and would Fox be okay with making a Dragon Ball movie theatrical without Goku as a centerpiece? I think it would work. But that's not... Just because I think it would work and you guys think it would work doesn't mean that the corporate suits at Toei or at Fox are going to be okay with this. See what I'm saying? They might want Goku in the movie no matter what, somewhere in the movie. So, because they might think, you know, it's Goku. Goku's one of the most famous anime characters ever, right? So, would they be comfortable with that? I think what they should do maybe is do the new movie first, see how it does, and then maybe the second movie, if they keep doing movies, could be a hit movie. But I think that would be the safest route corporate-wise. Personally, I would see anything as Dragon Ball, bro. I'll watch it all. You know what I mean? I'll watch it and let you know what I think about it. Ansar Zaladin, I would like a movie based on the events that took place at the end of Z, with the whole OOB tournament. It's a great way to open up a new super arc as well. Also, change a few things. Imagine Fire Goku flying off with Vegeta interferes, demands a match with Goku. Well, it would be after he flies off. I could see that. I could see that actually. Yeah, I would be okay if they. The thing is that the OOB tournament, you know, the end of Z, I'd be okay with it, but I agree with you that they need to expand on it. Just having like a retelling of those last 3 Dragon Ball Z episodes, I don't want to see that. But if you actually have something branch off of it, I do want to see that. So. Hello, Mom. All right. Kaidu Dad says, Dear Dragon Ball GT meets Dragon Ball Super or something with GT, Janemba, Broly, and Cooler meeting DBS. Well, that's the Crest on Infinite Earth storyline. I think that could work. Maybe what I'll do is I'll write up a little mini plot line of how I think it could work, and maybe I'll share it with you guys. And maybe you'll like it. Like, I might do that. I might actually sit down. That could be fun. And I actually write, like, my own little story of how I would do it and see what you guys think. I might do that for a separate video now. Because I think it could work. I really believe it could work. Okay. Armando Corona III says, an origin movie like how the Pride Troopers were formed. Pretty much I think everyone would love to see that. Yes, I would certainly love to see it. But, again, we goes back to, can you do it without Goku? But I think they should still do it. I would love to see it. Steve Johnson says, we need an adventure on Planet Sadal with Vegeta and Kamba, maybe a Goku Kefla rematch. Lots of Planet Sadal, man. Like this, I feel like Toei's gonna have to hit that arc soon, dude. A lot of that. Chris Garner says Goku hits the shits and can't leave. Vegeta saves Kamba and Friends Planet. That could work too. Melvin Davenport says, honestly, it would have to be in either a Planet Sadal movie or a Time Breaker Demon Realm movie. Or maybe something where Goku and Hit have to work together. Agreed on all those points. I would love to see a Demon Realm movie. I'm going to give you my idea. Because when Battle of Gods was first coming out, I don't know how many of you guys were around back then, like on the internet, scouring the web. A lot of people thought that Whis was a Makaio Shin, an evil Kai. Turned out not to be the case. But if they do something where the Demon Realm opens up and we have to deal with the evil gods from the Demon Realm, which Toriyama has talked about, again, video on that coming in the future, that would be a great movie. I would love to see that, where even like the gods and angels, maybe not Zeno, but those gods and angels are challenged by these demonic entities. Nahu Cabrera says, I think that instead of a Planet of Doll arc in Super, a movie would be great. Yeah, we talked about that already. Yeah, people want that a lot. He talked about Universe 6 and 7 have to join forces to stop a powerful bad guy. That's a good idea as well. Fang F. Meister, a movie of Beerus and Champa, how they became gods of destruction. I agree with that too. I would love to see it. Jose Rafael Becerril Donovan, another name that's close to my heart because I grew up with people with names like that. The end of the Tournament of Power interruption by other timelines, including a crazier Zamasu. That would be more of an arc than a movie, I think. You know what I'm saying? Craig Tobin. Either Journey to the Strongest Universe to fight ones more powerful than Jiren, or a Planet Sadala history of Planet Sadala, bro. We're seeing the pattern. Christopher Stafford says, let's say after the tournament, all universes get wished back to life. Frost wishes for something to make him incredibly powerful, and he's killing all Saiyans on Sadala. Okay, he's giving me a plot here. This is what I wanted. I want a plot. Kaba goes and gets Vegeta and Goku to come help. The storyline has to end with Vegeta being the hero, though, and nobody else. I like the fact that he wrote that because he actually gave me an actual plot. And I've talked about that before, like Frost and maybe his family. Maybe the dude's got like cousins. You know, we only saw Frieza and King Cold and Cooler in the movie in Dragon Ball Z. We haven't seen anybody else except for, you know, in the games and, you know, things like that. We saw Chilled and things like that later on. But I mean when DBZ was first on the air. So it would be cool to me if Frost had a bunch of family members, unlike Frieza, who has almost none. That will work. Gohan teaches Piccolo the ultimate form and fights Cell in Hell. I don't know if that will work in a movie, bro. That's a wacky. That's more of like a comic book story. That's a manga storyline, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's very Marvel-esque right there. Brett Hardman, I would love a history of Beerus and Champa, seeing them as children, how they grew up, met Whis and Vados in their journey to becoming gods of destruction. That way it can be canon and won't risk conflicting with Super as it continues. Yeah, I agree with that. I would love to see that. Again, I would. Connor Todd says something to do with Universe 6, like a hit backstory of the Saiyajins defending a planet with Frost. There you go again with that Frost idea. I like it. If not, then a movie showing how and why the Pride Troopers came together. So we're seeing kind of very similar answers here. Sadala, Pride Troopers, Universe 6. That tells me, what does that tell me? That tells me that Toei has done a really good job of getting the Pride Troopers and Universe 6 over. The fan base cares about these characters more than anybody else. I think somebody wrote on here, probably more down, that they wish there was a movie where it's just Rip Brienne getting beat up the entire time. I thought that was a funny comment. But notice that pattern here. You know, these people who are commenting on here are completely different countries, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and they all have kind of a similar idea, so that tells you who they care about in the series. Michael Donovan says, I love a backstory on Beerus and Champa and how they became gods of destruction and met Vados Whis. Again, we've seen that again. Steven Tijerino, God Frieza. After the tournament, everyone's going into rest mode, whereas Frieza continues his training and planning for universal domination. Realize he can't do this alone anymore. Time for recruiting the universe's most baddest. First stop for destruction, Planet Sadala. I don't know if they should make Frieza the main villain of a movie again. Now, if they give him a role like Loki in the first Avengers, where he's kind of the main villain, but there's a secret, like, bigger villain in the background, I'd like that more. I don't know if they're going to have Frieza be the villain of another movie. That might actually irritate people. I mean, I like the idea, but I don't know. They've done it a lot. Christian says Goku Black returns. New form causes problems for Goku. Ultra Instinct Goku Black, right? That'd be something. Daniel O'Boyle. I would like to see a backstory of Zeno and his creating the universes. Well, no, hold on. Time out. He didn't create the universe. He writes here, maybe how he created the planet, the placement of the God's Destruction, Kaioshins. No, they never said that Zeno created the universes. He's just the king over them. We have no idea who created the universe. And that might be a story for a movie. Who really created it, right? Omar Shakir says we need the old art style and character designs. Maybe. I mean, that might not happen, though, the way things are going. Ibrahim El Shawarbi, the mortal stronger than the gods. It turns out that Jiren's not the mortal Whis was mentioning. Jiren's only the mortal equal to the god's destruction, not the mortal stronger. The mortal stronger than the gods turns out to be the original time traveler who now has his hands on an important artifact capable of changing reality. Goku and Vegeta become Pride Troopers and are sent by Vermouth to stop him. That's freaking awesome. I don't know what else to say. That's freaking awesome. Like, I'm not even kidding right now. I got a big smile on my face right now. Like, obviously, I do think that Jiren is the mortal that they're talking about. But you're talking about how the time travel might be even stronger than him, and he might be the villain. And there's an artifact that can change reality, like the Infinity Gauntlet. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I want more of that in Dragon Ball. I would love to see that, where they have to compete against beings that are really tough. Really, really tough. Samson Dempsey says, he mentions the Plansadala. This will be the last one for the video. And then, of course, leave your comments down below. I want to hear your thoughts on movies, too. But give me, like, a real plot. Like, give me an idea. Like, something that you would do if you were in charge. Like, if you were in charge. If Toei came to you and said, make a Dragon Ball movie. What would you do? What would you think about? What idea would pop in your head? So, Bilal Hussein writes, I would like a movie where Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta are somewhat captured by another deity, even too difficult for Whis to handle. I love the idea already. In order to rescue them, Whis trains the remaining Z fighters in order to rescue them. In this instance, you wrote that twice. In this instance, with godly training, the Z fighters would feel relevant again, and they would shift focus on them instead of Goku and Vegeta. Love that idea. I would love a story where they have to save Beerus instead of Beerus always saving them. I love it so much. There are many, many more comments here. If you want to read them all, I'm going to look through them too. Facebook.com/Geekdom101 is the place to be. Thank you to all of you who left your comments. I couldn't get to all of them because if I did, this would be a 3-hour video because there's a lot of comments. But all the ideas that I've read are pretty good. I'm actually really happy because there's only like maybe 1 or 2 ideas that were like, but the rest of them were pretty good, and I'm very happy about it. And I thank you for leaving your ideas, and thank you for watching the video. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And again, leave comments down below. Let me know what movie you want to see. Talk to y'all down there.